Hi, it's Dr. JP again, and I have one for you today. Got a request here for Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell. Well, you know Tinkerbell as the Disney land figure, one of the fairies. But you know what? It's interesting. Tinkerbell. I really don't know what and who is Tinkerbell. What does she do? So let's start out with Tinkerbell. It was a special day in Pixie Hollow. All the fairies were gathered around. With a sprinkling of pixie dust, a new fairy was born. And her name was Tinkerbell. There she is, being born. All the other fairies are around. Now, Queen Claron, she welcomed the newest fairy. Born of laughter, clothed in cheer, happiness has brought you here, she said. And there's Tinkerbell. And the fairies tried to help Tinkerbell find her talent. They gave her flowers, they gave her water, they gave her light. But everything Tink touched, it just faded away. Then Tinkerbell passed a hammer. It began to glow. There it is. And it flew straight towards her. And she found her talent. She was a Tinker Fairy. Whoa. She was a Tinker Fairy. And the Tinker Fairies, well, they came to see Tinkerbell. They came to welcome her. And she was so happy to meet them, but she was also a little bit sad. Tinkers, they weren't really fancy like the other fairies. Here's the Tinker Fairies. And Tink's new friends, Clank and Bauble, they took her on a tour of Pixie Hollow. And they saw all the fairies getting ready for spring. It's the changing of the seasons, explained Bauble. What is that? Well, there's a lot going on at Tinker's Nook. Tinkerbell loved seeing all the useful things that the Tinker Fairies made. And there she is. And Fairy Mary, she was the head tinker. She told Clank and Bobby to deliver their creations to the rest of the fairies fast. They would need the items on the mainland. The mainland sounds flitterific, cried Tink. Well, the Tinker Fairies showed the Queen what they had made. One of Tinkerbell's creations, it still needed some work. Tink would fix it in time to take it with her to the mainland. And the Queen, well, she told Tink that Tinker Fairies did not go to the mainland. Don't you know your work is here in Pixie Hollow? Queen Claron said. You don't go to the mainland. Being a tinker stinks, said Tinkerbell back at the Tinker's Nook. Fairy Mary told her that she should be proud of who she was. Yeah, but Tinkerbell did not want to be a tinker. You see, she wanted to be a nature fairy. And so she asked her friends for help. How can I be a nature fairy? And first, Silver Mist tried to teach Tink how to be a water fairy. But Tink was not good with water. She should be a water fairy, okay? She wasn't good with it. Then, Iridessa, she tried to teach Tink how to be a light fairy. But Tink was just not good with light. Be a light fairy. and Fawn tried to show Tink how to be an animal fairy, but Tink was just not good with animals either. What did she do? And then Tink saw a big bird flying in the sky. "Maybe that guy can help," she said. And the bird made a nosedive for Tink. "Hawk!" yelled the fairies, and they ran for cover. Tink jumped into a hole to hide, and the hole was Vidia's hiding spot. Now the hawk was after Vidia too. There's the hawk, he's coming for him. And the other fairies, they had to attack the hawk with berries, and Vidia was safe, but she was angry. Tink tried to help her clean up, but she didn't want Tink's help. "I don't want your help." And Tink felt horrible. She couldn't hold drops of water. She couldn't hold rays of light. Baby birds were afraid of her. "I'm useless," she said. So Tink flew to the beach. She wanted to be alone. And there she saw a magic, well, it was a broken music box. And she got to work quickly on it. And her friends watched, and they said, "You fixed it." They were all amazed at her tinkering talent. Tinkerbell enjoyed tinkering, but she still wanted to go to the mainland. At last, as her last hope, Tink went to Vidia for help, but Vidia was still angry with her. Vidia got an evil idea. She said Tink should capture the sprinting thistles to prove she was a garden fairy, and she knew it was a very dangerous job. Go capture the sprinting thistles." But Tinkerbell had to try. It was her last chance. So she made a corral and a lasso to capture the thistles, and she saddled up Cheese the mouse, and she was on her way to go for it. "It's working!" cried Tink. Thistles went into the corral, but then Vidia blew a strong gust of wind, and the corral gate flew open, and the thistles ran out. There they go, running out. And hundreds of other thistles ran by too, and Tinkerbell lost all control of them, and thistles ran this way and that way through Springtime Square, and they destroyed all the springtime supplies. Oh, no, 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 no. And everybody was upset. Everybody. Because spring would have to now be canceled. And it was all Tinkerbell's fault. And she flew away in shame. It's all my fault. And Tinkerbell decided she would leave Pixie Hollow for good. She stopped one last time at the Tinker's workshop. And she looked around and she got an idea. She knew how to save spring. What was her idea? Well, back at the Springtime Square, Vidia was punished for helping the thistles escape, and everyone was sad that spring wouldn't be coming. "Wait!" Tinkerbell cried. "I know how we can fix everything, but I can't do it alone." So, the fairies were eager to help her. Tink showed everyone what to do. In the blink of an eye, Tink's creations filled buckets with berries, paint, and seeds, and soon everything was ready for spring. guess what? "You did it!" exclaimed Queen Clarion. "You saved Spring! You saved Spring!" "No, no, no. We all did it. We all did it," said Tinkerbell. And Fairy Mary told Tink that she could go to the mainland too. And the music box Tinks had fixed belonged to a special little girl, and only Tinkerbell could deliver it to that girl. So Tinkerbell was happy. Her tinklings had saved Spring. She was a Tinker Fairy, and she was proud of it. That was Tinkerbell, a fairy adventure tale.